Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going on an incredible journey inside one of the most important systems in the human body, the respiratory system. Every second of every day this amazing system works tirelessly to keep you alive, providing oxygen to billions of cells while removing carbon dioxide that your body no longer needs. Most of us take breathing for granted because it happens automatically, but behind every breath is a fascinating process involving specialized organs, muscles and microscopic structures working together in perfect harmony. Take a deep breath right now without even thinking about it. Your respiratory system has already begun an extraordinary task. Air enters your body primarily through your nose, although it can also enter through your mouth. The nose is much more than just an opening for air. It acts as a natural filter. Tiny hairs called cilia and a layer of mucus trap dust, pollen, bacteria and other harmful particles before they can reach the lungs. At the same time, the nose warms and moistens the incoming air, making it safer and more comfortable for the delicate tissues deep inside your respiratory tract. Once the air passes through the nose or mouth, it travels into the pharynx, commonly known as the throat. This area serves as a shared pathway for both food and air. From there the air moves into the larynx, also called the voice box. The larynx contains the vocal cords which vibrate as air moves past them, allowing us to speak, sing, laugh and communicate with others. An important structure located at the entrance of the larynx is the epiglottis. This small flap of tissue acts like a safety gate. Every time you swallow food or drink, the epiglottis closes over the airway, preventing material from entering the lungs. When food accidentally enters the airway, your body responds with a cough reflex to clear the passage and protect your respiratory system. The air then enters the trachea, often referred to as the windpipe. This strong flexible tube extends down into the chest and is supported by rings of cartilage that keep it open at all times. The inside lining of the trachea contains tiny cilia that continuously move mucus upward toward the throat, carrying trapped particles and microbes away from the lungs. This cleaning system works around the clock, helping maintain healthy airways. At the lower end of the trachea, the passage divides into two large branches called bronchi. One bronchus enters the right lung while the other enters the left lung. Inside the lungs, these bronchi divide into smaller and smaller branches known as bronchioles, forming a complex network similar to the branches of a tree. This branching pattern ensures that fresh air reaches every corner of the lungs efficiently. The lungs themselves are remarkable organs. They are soft, spongy and elastic, allowing them to expand and contract with each breath. The right lung is slightly larger and contains three sections called lobes, while the left lung has two lobes, making space for the heart. The lungs are protected by the rib cage and covered by a thin membrane known as the pleura, which helps reduce friction during breathing movements. At the ends of the bronchioles lie millions of tiny air sacs called alveoli. These microscopic structures are the true centers of gas exchange in the respiratory system. If all the alveoli in a person's lungs were spread out flat, they would cover an area roughly the size of a tennis court, providing an enormous surface for exchanging gases. The walls of the alveoli are incredibly thin and are surrounded by networks of tiny blood vessels called capillaries. When you inhale, oxygen enters the alveoli and quickly passes through their delicate walls into the bloodstream. Red blood cells containing a protein called hemoglobin bind to oxygen molecules and transport them throughout the body, delivering this vital gas to every organ, tissue and cell. At the same time, carbon dioxide produced as a waste product by cells travels through the bloodstream back to the lungs. Carbon dioxide moves from the capillaries into the alveoli and is eventually expelled from the body when you exhale. This continuous exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide is essential for life. Without it, cells would be unable to produce the energy needed to perform their functions. Breathing itself is controlled by powerful muscles. The most important of these is the diaphragm, a dome-shaped muscle located beneath the lungs. When you inhale, the diaphragm contracts and moves downward, creating more space in the chest cavity. The muscles between your ribs also contract, lifting the rib cage upward and outward. This expansion lowers pressure inside the lungs, causing air to flow inward. When you exhale, the diaphragm relaxes and moves upward while the rib muscles return to their normal positions. The chest cavity becomes smaller, increasing pressure inside the lungs and forcing air out. In normal breathing, exhalation requires very little effort, but during exercise or intense physical activity, additional muscles help push air out more forcefully. The brain serves as the command center for breathing. Specialized regions in the brainstem constantly monitor carbon dioxide levels in the blood. If carbon dioxide levels rise, the brain sends signals to the respiratory muscles instructing them to breathe faster and deeper. When carbon dioxide levels drop, breathing slows down. This automatic system keeps the body's gases balanced without requiring conscious thought. The respiratory system also performs several other important functions. It allows us to produce speech by controlling airflow through the vocal cords. It contributes to our sense of smell because odor molecules must reach receptors inside the nasal cavity. The lungs also help regulate the acid and base balance of the blood, which is necessary for proper functioning of enzymes and cells. Unfortunately, many factors can damage the respiratory system. Smoking is one of the leading causes of lung disease because harmful chemicals destroy alveoli and inflame airways. Air pollution, exposure to toxic substances, and respiratory infections can also reduce lung function. Conditions such as asthma, pneumonia, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and lung cancer affect millions of people worldwide and can significantly impair breathing. Protecting lung health is extremely important. Regular exercise strengthens respiratory muscles and improves lung capacity. Drinking enough water helps keep mucus thin and easier to remove. Eating nutritious food supports the immune system. Avoiding smoking and limiting exposure to polluted environments can greatly reduce the risk of respiratory diseases. Deep breathing exercises may also help improve lung efficiency and promote relaxation. Every day the average person breathes more than 20,000 times, often without ever noticing the incredible process taking place inside the chest. The respiratory system works continuously from birth until the final moments of life, supplying oxygen, removing waste gases, supporting communication, and helping maintain the body's internal balance. The next time you take a deep breath, remember that an extraordinary team of organs, tissues, muscles, and microscopic air sacs is working together to keep you alive. Breathing may seem simple, but it is truly one of the most amazing functions of the human body, and understanding how the respiratory system works gives us a deeper appreciation for the complex and beautiful machine that we call the human body. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey inside the respiratory system, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating explorations of human anatomy and science.